Think of a time that you faced disappointment in your life. Maybe an unmet expectation in a relationship or a loss of a professional opportunity you were hoping for. Disappointment can shake our lives and leave us questioning God's goodness. I remember when I was younger, I auditioned to get into Arizona State University's School of Music. I loved music and wanted to pursue a professional career in the music industry. I spent a year training for the big audition, but when the college admissions letter finally arrived in the mail, I was disappointed to find out that I wasn't accepted. You can imagine how deflating that felt as a 19-year-old. When we're grieving and disappointed about events in our lives, it's hard to see how God can use those circumstances for His good purposes. But today, as we continue our devotional series, Be Still and Know, we'll find that God can use even our greatest disappointments for even greater good in the long run. My name is Gentry, and I'm here with my wife, Hadley, and we're glad that you're here with us today.
Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose for them." This verse doesn't say everything that happens is good. It says God can work all things, both good and painful, for His purposes. That's a really important difference when you're grieving. When you're grieving, it's hard to imagine how God could use your suffering for a good purpose. But the promise of Scripture tells us that God is working all things for good purposes for His people. Did you catch that? All things. That means He works through the good things and through the hard things for His good purposes. Even when we don't see it or feel it, God is working for our good.
I was disappointed I didn't get into the music program at Arizona State, but God was working even through that for good. You know what happened a year later? I moved to Charlotte and met my wife, Hadley. Not only did I meet her, but I found a church in Charlotte, and a year later, they hired me to be their worship leader. God had a role and calling for me to use music for His glory. If I had been accepted into the program at Arizona State, I would have missed out on so much. Looking back, I'm grateful that God shut that door for me so that He could open an even better door later. He truly was working in my disappointment for a greater purpose.
Similarly, we saw how even through something as terrible as our car accident, God was able to work for His good purposes. Initially, we didn't see how something so horrible and wrong could ever be used for good, but now, 10 years later, we can look back and see the many ways that God has turned an evil thing for good. One of our favorite ways that God did that is through building a school for hundreds of children in Haiti. After our car accident, people began donating money to show us their support. And because of all of those donations, we were able to partner with an organization called Mission of Hope to build a school in Haiti named after our sons, the Dobbs and Reed Eddings Primary School. That school provides food and education to hundreds of children in need. It's an incredible reminder for us of God's power to take something terrible and turn it for good.
In 2016, we were able to go down to Haiti and see the children in the school. It was an amazing thing to see what God had done. Seeing the smiling faces of the children and watching them eat a hot lunch was such an encouragement to our family. God truly does work through all things for His good purposes. If you're walking through disappointment and loss, don't give up hope. You may not see it immediately, but God is using your circumstances for His good plans and for a bigger purpose. Trust in God, who works all things, the good and the bad, together for the good of His people. We hope that truth strengthens your walk today.